Welcome to the Steam Machine Podcast. With your hosts, Dalton and Ryan.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Steam Machine Podcast. My name is Dalton. Joining me, as always, is my good buddy.
This is Ryan.
And this week we dove more into Final Fantasy XII, but there are a few things that I want to touch on before we get to that. First and foremost, I have a craw up my ass, sir.
Yeah.
And I want to go ahead and get this out of the way. So, I watched a video on YouTube that reminded me that artificial scarcity can eat a motherfucking dick.
Yeah.
Now, I understand, granted, this whole, I'm going to use Nintendo as an example.
Yeah.
And I know people are like, oh, if you talk shit about Nintendo, yada, yada, yada. Well, listen, I don't have to sit here and say that, I love Nintendo, because fucking A, all of the Pokemon games and things that I've bought over the years prove that.
Yeah, no. Nintendo's got that longevity. They got that street cred. I'm never going to hate Nintendo, but business practices.
First and foremost, this Mario All-Star Collection or whatever, right? I think it's Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario 64, and Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
Those three. It's only available until March, I think, this year, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Now, I assume that's because they're going to then split that into three things and make you pay for them separately, probably for the same price you got them as for one.
I mean, yeah, probably, but, I get where you're going with this, but I'm going to say that this All-Stars collection was just supposed to be, a limited release anyway, because it was just a 35th year anniversary, commemoration of Mario itself.
Okay, so then why is that Mario game that they made that's like Tetris 99 but with Mario? I don't remember what they called it. Super Mario.
Yeah,
go fuck
I know.
yourself.
I know what you're talking about. The Battle Royale. Yeah.
Yeah, that game is going to go away in March as well. No one will be able to play it anymore.
Weird.
They released Fire Emblem, the very first Fire Emblem game. It's the first time it's ever been translated over here as far as I know, and they put it up on the eShop for a limited time.
Yeah.
And then you can't get it anymore. Why?
Maybe it has something.
It is.
Maybe it has something to do with contracts with the developers and stuff.
I think it has to do with cashing in on FOMO.
I mean,
the fear of missing out.
False scarcity. I get where you're bitching at too, but I also love it. I mean, my pop collection. If there wasn't a false scarcity on the pop collection, some of these wouldn't have the values that they have today. And it's comic values go up if the more copies that are destroyed or the less copies that are printed.
But that's a physical thing.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no need to do it. I get the disc
no need
thing.
to
It's
do it.
shitty, but I get it.
Yeah.
But there's no need to do it digitally.
There's no need to do it digitally. I get that.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing that comes from that other
Yeah.
than you're going to make more money because people are going to buy it really
Yeah.
quickly. It's like if you had a shitty quarter and it's like you release something people want but make it scarce, it's going to make that quarter better because it's going to be a flood of money.
Maybe what they're doing is they are just seeing what kind of sales that these games can generate. If they pump up and get a bunch of good sales, maybe they'll just leave it on the store. Or it's going to be
I don't think they will.
Or it's going to be a new trend where they're going to release a couple of games for a limited release, take them down, and then put up a new set of games for a certain set of time, and then take them down. And they'll pop back up in the store eventually. It's just kind of got to bide your time if you didn't jump on it at the get-go.
Or you're going to have to pay more, which is bullshit. But,
No.
whatever. But, we can't act like this is new. If you think about it, Disney has been doing this for years with the Disney Vault.
Oh, yeah, the Disney Vault and the VHS tapes and all that shit. Yeah.
I've got all of those fucking tapes because from back in the day when it would come out in the vault, my parents would go out and get it just so we had it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it works. That's why people do it.
Yeah.
I just think it's bullshit.
No, I get it. I get the bitch about it. Especially where you're coming from with the digital version should just be available all the time. Physical copies is what they should be driving the market for false scarcity for.
It's I've been getting stuff for the show and haven't been spending money on my other consoles, but I would like to get that Fire Emblem game, but I think I missed it. I think it's gone.
No.
So guess what, Nintendo? I'm gonna fucking emulate it. So eat my asshole. And that's all I got to say about that.
And then we just got slapped with
Fuck
a cease and desist.
Good, I'll use it to wipe my motherfucking ass. All right. Rant over. Fuck artificial scarcity. I think it's dumb.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I know you want to end that rant, but I was just kind of thinking about it today. We were talking about it at work a little bit, and one of the guys I worked with brought up the fact that he still can't find a PS5 anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
no,
it's
they're
not
gone.
that the demand has skyrocketed beyond what they can manufacture. Like, they knew the demand was going to be high. They're just choosing not to mass produce at the level that they could in order to keep that demand high. Like,
And you know what? No, let's go back to it, because that brings me to another fucking issue that I've got, okay? And that is the people that set up bots.
yep.
Because even in the PC realm, like it happened with the PS5, it happened with the Xbox. As soon as it went live, all these bots bought them.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, you start seeing them show up on eBay and Amazon for double the price.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That happens every fucking time a new graphics card comes out.
Yep.
Like, I just saw this thing where it said the GTX, NVIDIA is releasing a GTX, I think 3060, which is better than my card. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, look into it. And they were like, yeah, and it's more affordable than the other ones. It's only like $400. Well, it's between $300 and $400. I don't remember exactly what it was. But it's slated to sell out as soon as it releases because of
All the
fucking
bots
bots
all the scalpers
and
who have set up the bots. Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. I know there's a lot of people ready, waiting to click too. So you got to take that into account. But when there's a bot that's clicking faster than humanly possible and doing all the shit for it, and the companies, it's like, on one hand, they could implement systems that would prevent that from happening, right? But on the other hand, it's money to them no matter what.
Yeah. I think because of what happened with all of the scalpers buying up all the PS5 consoles and all the Xbox consoles upon release and stuff, actually changed the way a lot of these people are going to set up systems for like future releases, where they are going to only limit like a certain number per like registered account or something like that. And then they're going to even take it further to prevent bots from purchasing these things. They're going to do like the verify shit. Like, you have to click all these pictures that show a fucking dog, like sort of shit. Like,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
actually
well,
going to
makes
have to go through a couple more security steps to make purchases for things like PC parts or consoles and shit like that.
I hope they fucking do that.
Yeah.
I hope they do that, because
I think
it's like
it shouldn't even just be like electronics. It should really be just about everything, especially come like Black Friday season. Like, little kids' toys. God, people die fighting over like fucking Tickle Me Elmo and shit like that. Like, there should really be like a serious hard limit on fucking purchases made in places like with the bots online. You have motherfuckers like, my Walmart just finally put a limit maybe about a month ago on how many packs of cards for certain things that you can buy at a time, because motherfuckers were going out and buying entire stocks of sports cards, Pokemon cards, Magic cards, just to fucking rip them open and sell the cards that are worth it. Like, that's fucking it. I mean, granted, that's what I want to do, but when one motherfucker goes in and buys all of the fucking cards, and like, no, you got like 5-year-olds who are crushed because they can't find a fucking booster pack of Pokemon cards because some fucking asshole just bought out the entire fucking store to sell one card for $300. Like,
and you know, it's never occurred to me to go into a store and clean a shelf off of pretty much anything, unless it's like, I don't know, Oreos or something. You know what I mean? Like, like, when I used to go and buy Pokemon cards, I'd buy a pack or two, or I'd buy like a booster pack that had a bunch of them in there, and then I'd go home and open them and be happy with it. Yeah, personally.
Yeah, but it's like we've seen both of the crazies living down in Florida, the fucking hurricane preppers and shit, how they wipe out fucking stores, the fucking pre-COVID pandemic, the fucking toilet paper shortage that rocked the fucking world. Like,
we were considering getting bidets because it was really hard to find like
bidets are better
tissues.
Anyway. Spray your butthole with that water; it feels so much cleaner. Like,
it's like a nice kiss from Poseidon.
Absolutely. I fucking love it. So good. Never going back. But like, even me having lived down in Florida, seeing all the hurricane preppers and then the fucking pre-COVID toilet paper shortage. Up here, we have another fucking snowstorm coming. It's supposed to give us like maybe another 2 feet of snow. and they're buying out fucking everything. Like, why? You live in New York. You know this is winter. Like, why the fuck are you stocking up on food that you're never going to fucking eat anyway? Like,
because people were fucking nuts.
Yeah.
You know, real quick. Did that thunder pick up on my mic?
No, it did not. I didn't
as
hear
you were
it.
as you're talking about, man, I've lived through the hurricanes down there. Outside my window just goes boom.
Yeah.
Because there's a big old thunderstorm.
No,
right now.
I didn't hear it. Maybe on your end it got picked up on Audacity, but I didn't hear it.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But it was funny. The timing of it was perfect. Yeah, man. Our buddy Hans tried to get I think it was the RTX 380, or it might have been the GTX 380. It was one of the graphics cards. And he finally said the only ones that he could find were marked up so much that he said, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to buy the more expensive one for like a couple $100 more. So he just did that instead.
Yeah, don't give in to the fucking scalpers. Let them just fucking sit on that shit. They'll sell it for pennies at one point.
Yeah, eventually.
No.
Like that dude who bought up all that hand sanitizer and nobody would buy it from him.
Oh, yeah. For real. For real.
Fucking douchebag.
What was it, Tennessee? And he bought like $180,000 worth of fucking
Some
hand
insane
sanitizer.
amount.
Him and like a couple people drove like through the entire state and would buy out the like entire stocks from Dollar General and shit.
Yep.
And then turn around and try to sell it for $10, $15 a bottle. Fuck you. Like, he got arrested for price gouging. He really did.
Good. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Take him in the back. Put him out of his misery. The world moves on.
Man.
Tony Soprano him. Just, bah!
Man, that's a little too hardcore. But.
It's a fucking business, Ryan. It's a business. Sorry. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of The Sopranos lately.
Yeah.
It's such a good fucking show.
I never watched it. I'm not really into that like mafia style stuff though. Like I haven't seen The Godfather.
There's so much more to it. There's so much more to it though.
Like
it's not as I mean, it is and it isn't. It's not as hardcore as those as far as like you betrayed the family.
Oh yeah, no, it's like a modern take on the family, but
it's a really good story overall.
But
if it's not your thing, it's not your thing.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So in other news, I started playing Final Fantasy XIV again.
Of course you did.
I stuck that needle back in my arm and fully just pushed the button.
I've lost you. The next like 3 months is going to be Final Fantasy XIV, WoW, and Skyrim.
No, I think I'm done with WoW for a while.
When does Strikers come out?
I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
I'll get to that in a second because that's part of things I need to touch on.
I'm looking forward to that since you told me it was like a hack and slash type game.
So one thing so shout out to Max Millions and her husband Slice and Dice on my server and in our free company on Final Fantasy XIV because she started listening and wrote me today and reminded me actually that the worlds of Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy XII are the same world.
Oh, interesting.
I believe its Tactics takes place. Hold on, I have it pulled up. Final Fantasy Tactics is set around 1,200 years after the events of Final Fantasy XII.
Oh, shit.
It says, in that time, a great cataclysm occurred and set civilization back technologically to the Dark Ages, and also resulted in a vast majority of other races going extinct or near enough. The Espers were subsequently freed from their control of their glyphs and weren't able to possess people via pacts, thus becoming the Lucavi. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Which ties into 14, again, because not only did she tell me this, but 14 has a raid called the Return to Ivalice, I think is the name of it. Mm-hmm. Or that's the overall arcing quest is the Return to Ivalice. And I believe the raid was the royal city of Rabanastre.
Oh.
So I haven't played it, but I'm going to try to get a group to do it this week so I can get in there. Or I'll just run it and try not to run around and die. Or, run around and try not to die.
Yeah.
But it's a 24-man raid, and it follows the Lexentale family as they search for the truth behind the fabled land of Ivalice in an effort to clear their sullied family name. And I think the guy that wrote Tactics and 12 was a guest creator for this raid series.
Nice.
As well, so
nice.
The boss designs and stuff were by Kita Amemiya. That person.
Yeah, I don't even try. Like if
I like to try. I like
see,
to at least
trying,
give the effort.
I like to try in my head, but out loud, you could come across as very.
I'm not being racist.
Yeah, no,
Just
I'm
put
not.
it-
I wasn't gonna say racist. I was just saying like very just like ignorant to even like attempting to learn the pronunciation or anything like that. But
Usually I'm pretty good, but
no, you're
Yeah,
pretty good with a lot of them. But there's just some of them that you just like. I would look at it and have no idea. It's like that tweet that circles around as a meme and somebody making fun of something and somebody's like, well, your name sounds like the noise a plunger makes. Like,
yeah, I've seen that. That's so funny.
yeah.
I got one for you real quick. There's a character related to a side quest in Final Fantasy XII. And you probably haven't found her because she's just a Viera sitting on the staircase in the Muthru Bazaar in Rabanastre, right? Mm-hmm. This is how her name is spelled. I want you to try to tell me how you would say it. K-T-J-N.
Kitten.
I say Jin. Like, I'm just like,
K-T-J-N? Kitten.
Kitten. Yeah, I guess that could be. Yeah, that works. But I was like, that's a bunch of vowels. I mean, not vowels. That's a bunch of consonants. I'm like, there's no vowels. Like,
no. Sometimes that happens. Last year for the AHL Hockey All-Star Skills Competition, guy recorded the hardest slap shot ever recorded in the history of hockey. His last name is FRK.
Frick.
Frick. No.
Frick.
FRK. That's it.
Frick.
No. But 109 point something miles an hour. Can you imagine standing in front of that frozen rubber disc?
No. Not at all. What was I looking for real quick? Oh, there we go. All right, so sir, how far did you make it this week? Actually, real quick, before I wanted to touch on one more thing about 14.
Yeah.
So I've been back for 2 days, and I've spent a lot of time playing. And have I done any of the new content really? No. What have I done? I've gone and farmed materials, and then crafted. I've been just leveling crafters and gatherers, because I will eventually be able to make shit that will make me real gil. And I will be rolling in gil, and then I can go and buy stuff instead of always just having like between, I don't know, 10,000 and 700,000. I know people who have millions. Ugh, so I'm like, brutal. I want to get there eventually.
Yeah.
But crafting will eat your fucking gil, son. If you don't go out and get all your materials yourself and you're relying on just buying them off the market board. Yeah. Woo, when I logged in, I had 900,000. When I logged off today to do the show,
you were overdrafted by like 400,000.
I have like, I don't know, 11,000 or so. Yeah, it's just
brutal.
It's ridiculous.
No.
So yeah. So how far did you get this week?
I believe, looking at the walkthrough guide after what I just finished the last time I logged on, I think I'm coming up on the Alrain, however you say that, the top stock boss fight. That one.
Top stock.
I think it's like Act 1, Part 7, Part 6, Part 7, something like that.
What area are you in? Are you in like, did you already do the Giza Plains where you're running around in the dry? Had to touch all the sunstones?
Yes, I did that.
Okay, so that's right, because you've been to the Royal Palace.
Yeah,
so you've done at least that.
Episode 1 I left off at the Mimic Queen.
Oh, okay, so yeah, you were in Barheim Passage. All right. Have you made it to Bergerba yet? Then?
Yeah.
Oh, you might be a little before.
Yeah,
you're in Bergerba.
Yeah, Bergerba.
All right, so cool. Okay, so I'm trying to remember because it's been a while since I've been like that far back in the game. So
let's see, where was I? The Mosferan High Waste, the Silica Wood, the Sochin Cave Palace. That's what I just did.
Oh, okay. You made it to the Silica Wood?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're really not that far behind me, honestly.
Oh, cool. I caught up pretty quick then. Thank you, Final Fantasy XIV.
yeah. The past 2 days gave you plenty of time. Yeah, because I am in the Fawn Coast. Yeah. And making my way to the Tichita.
I did take your recommendation. I did go back to the the clan center and redid my boards. And
Dude,
Van
really
is
helps.
no longer a healer. And after moving around my licensing board and shit, I am kind of beasted it right now, but I'm still like pretty low level, and I still have to do some more grinding, I think, before I start tackling on some more of these bosses further into the game. I think
it's gotten to the point. What boss was it? It was the last judge we fought, so I think it was Judge Douchebag.
Yeah.
Starts with Gabranth. I think it was Gabranth. I could be wrong. I ran in there, and it was us versus him, and then behind me spawned 3 judges, right?
Yeah.
So I just turned around, and all 3 of those judges, I one-shot them all, just pff, and they just died. And I was like, all right. So I turned around, and we just started wailing on that dude. That whole fight lasted like 30 seconds.
Nice. I love when
And I
that
think
shit happens. When you just like have it perfect and it's just like done.
Well, it's gotten to the point that on all my characters, both of their license boards, because I've got where they got both of them, are almost full.
Damn.
Because I've been seriously farming license boards.
Yeah, you have.
So-
I need to fucking step up on that because I don't even think I filled up one board yet.
I've got Bosch as Knight Bushi, and I've got Balthier as Bushi Monk. So they both use katanas, but they both have high attack and high attack speed.
Mm-hmm.
So they hit more often with the multiple hit combo things, as well as Vaughn. But Vaughn, Shikari gave him a ninja sword. He's good to go.
Yeah.
But dude, Bosch and Balthier will just walk in and just start whacking shit, and they'll just die before Vaughn even gets there. It's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
And then,
I'm gonna have to go through and set that up. Like, that sounds fantastic.
I have Ash as a black mage, red mage combo, and she just dishes out spells like boom. But usually when I do magic, I have gambits set up for some magic, but usually like attack magic, I like to do myself. So like if I come up against something that's weak to a certain spell, I'll pull Ash in, and then I'll control her and send the spells out, because I don't want her to, I don't know, I don't trust the gambits enough, even though I know that it would work perfectly fine if I set them up enough like I should. But one thing that they added in this that I do like, though, is they give you 3 gambit pages that you can like set and save. So like you can have page 1 will be like you're running around, your page 2 will be your boss gambits, things like that.
Yeah,
it's pretty sweet. So the story, I don't think we touched on much of the story last.
No, we didn't really. And this story has caught my attention. Like, I am kind of like disappointed that I am so easily distracted by things. Like, I'm not disappointed in my kids, for sure. Obviously not. I love them. Their attention always comes first. But
I know what you mean.
Like getting distracted by a shiny new internet page or something on the TV. Or
I was going to say, when
my
your phone,
your
phone going,
my phone going, burp, burp, like I remember bits and pieces of the cutscenes and story so far, but the little bits that I do remember have really caught my attention. I'm going to have to go through on like summer break or something and actually give this game a good playthrough and really pay attention to this story, because again, from what I've caught, this story is fantastic. It really is, and it's jumped my list of like Final Fantasy stories as far as like the game storylines go. Like, this battle system can fuck right off. It's like still too complicated for me. I'm still learning it. I'm still trying to figure it out. I mean, it's growing on me, but it's not my junction system from 8. Like
I understand that. The combat is getting a little old to me. Like, it's a lot of rinse and repeat, same stuff.
It is.
Really sticking with this to see the end of the story, because I never have.
Yeah.
But if I was not more engrossed in the story, I probably would say that this is the last episode. But we're gonna do one more.
And this is such like a weird coincidence that we have a game where the story is very politically driven, going on at like the most, like one of the most tumultuous, politically driven years that we've seen in our lifetime, at least. Like, not as our country as a whole. Like, obviously we've been through some shit as a country as a whole, but in our lifetime, this is probably one of like the most tumultuous political times that we have ever seen. Like, and to start off a game that is very politically driven is kind of, it's weird looking at it and kind of seeing some relations to what's actually happening now. Like,
yeah, totally. With the one thing that hit me was there's a scene between Vayne Solidor, who is pretty much the bad guy in this game, from what I've gathered. And he's in the kingdom room with his father, and they're talking, and he's talked about how he's spilled blood before to keep his younger brother safe, which is Larsa, the little kid that you find running around with you every now and then, who's actually a little badass. Like, He is.
Yeah.
Oh, and quick tip for you. Whenever you have a party guest and you have like that fourth person, they're with you until you continue the main story. So that's a good time to go hit hunts and stuff when you've got an extra hand to swing at them.
Oh, nice. I'll have to remember that.
Yeah, just a little tip. And Vane basically says that like he's done it before and he'll do it again. And his father's like, "Do you mean your words?" And then it just kind of goes up on his face, and there's a serious Final Fantasy-esque style cutscene moment. And then it cuts back to two of his servants come walking in, and then they're being arrested for murdering the king. But it's like it's heavily implied that Vane killed him, right?
What?
Yeah, it's heavily implied that Vane killed him.
Jesus
and he leaves, and now Vane runs things instead of his father, because it's like he took it over. And the whole thing is about the Empire wants to take over this other country, which is where you meet Cid. I think his name is like Al Cid in this one or something like that. Let's see. I had it written down. Yeah, Al Cid Margrace. Al Cid Margrace. And he is from Rosaria, and that's the next place the Empire's trying to take over. And he wants you to come, like, help him stop that. But Ash basically tells him, like, we've got shit to worry about here first. So where I'm at in the story, it's now decided that they are going to head to Arcadia, because I've gotten the Sword of Kings, which is the sword that can destroy Nethicite, right?
Yeah.
And she was going to try it out on the Dawn Shard, but as she goes to swing it at the Dawn Shard, a ghost of Rex appears, which is Vaughn's brother and her wife and the king, he was the king of Rabanastre. And he basically tells her not to hit it, like, without saying any words. He just, like, shakes his head no, and she swings and hits to the side of the Nethicite. And he nods his head yes, and then he disappears back into it. And she takes it's the Dawn Shard, I believe. And it's funny because she goes, "We must go. This is the sword. I know it is." And Balthier, as he's walking away, just goes, "Yeah, I'm sure it'll work if you hit your mark." And then just like walks off. He's such a douchebag. I love him. You know what I've tried to figure out this whole game, and I hope that it brings it together in the end. I hope they explain, like, why the fuck Balthier and Fran stuck around. Yeah,
no, I want to know that too. Like, what you?
Like, are they just in it for fun? Because they're sky pirates.
I mean, they're, like you said, Han Solo and Chewie. Like, they're just there. Like, why? I would have bailed. First sign of war.
Getting
like,
thrown
bye.
in a dungeon.
Bye. I'm going as far away as possible. Like,
I get why Bosch is there. I get Ash. Vaughn kind of got roped into it, and I think Penelo will go anywhere Vaughn goes.
Yeah, pretty much.
In fact, there's a side quest. There's a side quest that I did. What was the name of it? I don't know. It was like something about love. And there were these two people that you had to talk to, and one of them was a Vieira. Oh, okay. The quest is called Vieira Matchmaking. And after you had gone through Jahara, where you meet the Garifs in the Osmond Plain, this is when she shows up. So it's at the South Gate. Yeah, it's the South Gate in Rabanastre. You'll just, by the Chocobo stables, you'll see a Vieira standing there. Mm-hmm. And you talk to her, and she tells you that she left her homeland in the Silica Wood to come out and find a mate. But she hasn't been able to find anyone. But she's going to, stay here in town and see what happens. So she goes walking off. So if you run up through the gate and go to the fountain there, you will run around, you will find a man, and his name is the Love-Struck Man. Right? So you talk to him, and he tells you that he once saw the most beautiful Vieira in the world, and he's never seen her again. But the Vieira that just walked by looked a lot like her, or reminded him of her, and he shouldn't miss this opportunity like he did the last time. And so you go and talk to her for him, right? So you go and you find her, and she's in the Gambit shop, and you talk to her, and she says that there was a nice man in there that was talking to her too, and he's some lord or whatever. So you go back and you talk to the Love-Struck. Oh, I'm sorry, no. You make your way to the Sand Sea, and you find her in there. And this is where it ties into what I was going to say about Penelo, because she says every time you talk to her, she wonders if it's you because you keep finding her and talking to her. And she's like, "No, I can smell that you're taken for. Someone loves you very much and would do anything to see you safe," and something like that. And I was like, "Oh, Penelo. Gotta be Penelo."
Penelo. I love Penelo.
So I ended up, you have a choice with either hooking up with Lord Vane, not Vane Solidor, a different Vane, or the Love-Struck Man. I went with the Love Struck Man because you get better rewards for it.
Yep.
If you select Lord Vane, you just get the Locksley bow. But if you choose the Love Struck Man, you get the Locksley bow and 2 high potions. So I went that route.
Yeah.
I don't have an archer, so I can't even use the bow. But I still felt good. I don't know. That's the thing about RPGs is sometimes these little side quests, you just do them because it gives you a sense of satisfaction.
Goddamn, I'm dying.
Don't die.
Yeah.
Don't die on me, Paul. But other than that, dude, I've looked through this list of side quests.
Mm-hmm.
After somebody in the Factory Sealed Discord I was talking to about them, and they were like, have you been doing all the side quests and stuff? I had completely forgotten how many side quests there are.
There's probably a million, like most games like this.
There's a ton, but the thing about this one is that, like, they don't have, like, a little exclamation point above their head. You have to talk to people to find them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's, like,
I think that's one of the things that
days.
they tell you right at the beginning of the game, like during the tutorial phase, and it's like, be sure you stop and talk to everyone you run across. Like,
yeah, because you're going to miss out on a lot of different items and quests and things that could possibly help you along your journey.
Yeah.
And there's certain side quests that you have to do to complete part of the game. Like the Lost Cactoid. Like there's a part where you have to find a lost cactoid and return it to its mom, so it'll leave these villagers alone. So you can then bring the villager's dad back home, and then you can cross and go into the next area, which I believe that's how you get up into the Basilica Wood and all of that. Or it might be past the Basilica Wood. Hell, I don't remember. There is one quest that I'm working on currently called 3 Medallions, and you need those medallions to get into the neck roll of Nabudis.
Yeah.
Into the deeper areas of it. But the 3 medallions, like, as far as I am in the game, I was only able to get the first part of the first medallion. Wow. So we'll see. We'll see what I can do in the next week. Yeah, but apparently there's a fishing side quest.
Nice. That
I had no fucking idea about.
Yeah. I had no idea about, like, most of these side quests anyway. I think I maybe have stumbled across maybe like 1 or 2 since, but
I know the one that gave me a hard time. I had to go and level up some and then come back and then hit it with quickenings. Was the Earth Tyrant. So I believe it's on your way out into the Wester Sand.
Yeah.
There is a lizard guy standing there, and if you talk to him, he starts telling you that he's been having this issue with these sandstorms in the Wester Sand, that he needs to go do his research, but he can't. Right. Well, you end up having to go and talk to this dude at a fountain, who then sends you to the Lowtown. And then you have to talk to another guy down in Lowtown. Then you go find this piece of this item that they used to use to get into this special area. It would help them walk through the gusts of sand and stuff to get to this special area in the Wester Sand where they used to go hang out as kids. But he had buried it in the Wester Sand. So you have to go get it. You bring it back. He puts it together with the other piece. Then you're able to go into the Worm's Den. And once you're in there, you find the Earth Tyrant, which is this giant fucking earthworm. And I mean, like, dragon worm.
Yeah, WYRM.
Yeah. I realized when I said earthworm that I was like, well, wait, no, it's not a giant earthworm gym or anything. But that's a mod. That's a mod that would be awesome.
Yes.
You just walk up in there and it's a giant earthworm gym. Shout out to Tadpog's SNES Game of the Month, Earthworm Gym. Man, that boss. That Earth Tyrant kicked my ass like twice. And then I was like, finally, all right, I'm going to go. And I went back to the Lusu mines, and I got probably another 1,000 LP and distributed it, and then went back and just knocked it out.
Yeah, nice.
I also have some Espers now. 2 from the storyline, and then I got 2 of the optional ones. They were a pain in my absolute dick. And I got them, I think, because I got them way before I should. So the ones you get through the story are Bellius, and Matthias, which are the 2 that I have from the story so far. Then I randomly stumbled upon Adramelech, which I think I talked about last week. Adramelech was really fucking hard. It took me a few tries and some going back to the plains to level up some, but I finally beat him. And then I cannot tell you how, beat Chichulane, which was a pain in my ass because that thing, I think that was the fight where he just kept casting Disable on all my people, and it was like, you have to pop that off or it's a game over. Like, it's fucking hard. And I got Zeromus, and that's the hardest fight I've had in this game so far, was Zeromus. He hit so hard, and he kept summoning zombies. Like, so you're having to deal with crowd control and fight the boss at the same time, and he's hitting you like a fucking truck. It was rough, dog.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, the political intrigue, the whole empire wanting to take over all the land. They're like, this is all ours now. You know. But I will point out something that I was listening to Damn Chocobo talk about this, and I agreed with them. Yeah, I know, it's a great podcast name. Damn Chocobo. The people don't really feel oppressed. That's one thing that I think is lacking from this game, is that like the Empire took over, but it doesn't seem like anything's really changed.
No, nothing. Like, that's one thing. I was like, why are these people not like freaking out? Like, why is this not like a mass refugee sort of saying? Like, what is happening? Like, why are these people still super giddy? Like, oh my god, the Empire's here. Let's like, there's police and military on like every fucking corner, and everyone's just going about their daily lives like it's no big fucking deal. Like,
yeah. I mean, I guess it could be like a Korea situation, but maybe, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a part that I would say is a negative, if I could say anything about it that's negative. But and like we touched on earlier, man, the gameplay itself is just getting very repetitive.
It is.
Very.
Yeah.
But I want to see it through to the end.
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
I definitely want to. If I can't get to roll the credits this week and you do, what I'll probably do is just pull up the ending on YouTube and watch that, because I do want to be able to talk about the ending with you, but I'm on my next break from work. I'm probably going to go back and actually give this game some decent time.
No, yeah, and I get that. You know, you're like we've said before, you're coming from the casual perspective where you've just got some time here and there.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I've got nothing but time.
Yeah.
So, have you been doing hunts at all?
Not really, because I've been trying to keep up with the storyline, because I know this game is long. Like, this game is like almost built for grinding. And if I like branch off into like the hunts and the spider web side quests and shit, I'll never get through the main storyline. Like my dragon punching Skyrim thing, I've put in, God, I don't even know how many hours now, and I still haven't even left Whiterun. Like, I still haven't even been up to the Greybeards yet. I'm still in Whiterun. Like,
yeah, according to howlongtobeat.com, Final Fantasy XII's main story comes in at 60.5 hours.
yeah,
That's a lot. Completionist is 160 hours.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Like, with the amount of side quests that there probably are available in this game, and like all the grinding that you have to do really adds to the total hours of gameplay.
Yeah, I am up to. I think the last hunt that I did was Bloodwing. Yeah, so I've done 16 of them so far.
I think I've done Rogue Tomato.
There are 45 in total. One that I did that I haven't been able to turn in is this big ass turtle out in the wetlands.
Yeah.
In Giza Plain when it's the wet time.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to go around Giza Plain, and in each area there's like a white tree that you can it just looks out of place, and you go over to it and you click it and you knock it into the water. And eventually, once you've done it, all of them pile up in this bottom right area of the map, and you go down there, you can cross the bridge over into this new zone that's open, and that's where this particular thing spawns. I think it's called like the gill snapper. It's technically hunt number 36,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't turn it in until it's the dry season again, which is not till way later in the game.
Wow.
So
you gotta hold that.
I'm patiently waiting for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've killed it. I'm done. Like, I beat it. It was a hard ass fight. Oh no! Wait. Now that I'm looking, I've done some of these other. So when you get into hunt the Clan Centurio,
Mm-hmm.
they give you elite hunts too, that are a little harder than the normal ones. I believe the Gill Snapper was one of those. And then there was the Trickster, which is a white chocobo that's massive, and it's in this certain area of the place right by Mount Baromeses, Paramina Rift. Yeah, it's in this certain area, and the chocobo is invisible until it runs up on you and starts hitting you.
Wow.
And it's really fast, and it is just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And then I did the Antlion, which is massive. Oh, basically, once you start getting up to these higher ranked marks.
The
Dude, they're brutal.
yeah, I bet.
The guide because I started using a guide, so I didn't miss any more side quests. And the guide's like, yeah, you can go ahead and snag these hunts, but I wouldn't attempt them till much later. But I do want to say, if I'm going to play this for another week, if we don't beat it by then we'll just keep it on the list and come back to it, because I don't know, or listeners, you can let us know, because I feel like 4 episodes in a row on a show like ours is a little much for one game.
Long, yeah.
And in keeping that in mind, there are going to be a few games on our list that fucking really going to take a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the record of Agarest War. In fact, let me get back to howlongtobeat.com, because I want to see your face when I tell you. I think I've told you this before.
Just wait until we pull No Man's Sky.
Well, okay, so that's different, because there is an end to that game.
Huh?
There is an end to that game, but it's just hard to get to.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 3 Record of Agarest War games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna start you off with the shortest one. Record of Agarest War Marriage. Main story 24.5 hours. Main plus extra 28. Completionist 34.5.
Yeah, it's
not so bad. Not bad. Okay. Record of Agarest War 1. Main story 83.5 hours.
Brutal.
Main plus extra 132 hours.
Brutal.
Completionist 199 hours.
Yeah, I don't have that time.
Record of Agarest War 2 is not quite as long. His main story is 69.5. Nice. I think that's 69ing with a finger in your butt. So, main plus extras 87.5 hours. Completionist is 137 hours. Oh, and sir,
These long games are just gonna have to wait until Dogecoin hits like $10, and I can retire.
We have somebody in our Discord who is pondering the idea of pitching in the money to select a game. But it's not a game on our list, but it's a game that we all 3 own.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
He would like to talk to us about Persona 5 at some point.
Oh, so I will actually have to load that up and play it.
Yeah. So I told him, I said we'll hash that out, because that's a long game. So
It is a long game. I do have a date. The academic calendar graduation is May 15th, so I should roughly be starting break around that time. So
sweet.
from
That might be
May until August, if I tell work that I'm not going to work this summer, I will have that whole like June, July, and half of August free.
Yeah, maybe that'll be a good time to knock some stuff out. Maybe get some.
Yeah,
stuff in the can.
and then soon, hopefully, the taxes will be in my bank account, and then we will be building my PC.
Yeah, dude, I look forward to that too.
Yes.
That's gonna be a blast. Speaking of Persona 5, you were talking about strikers earlier, and I said to put a pin in it. So next week, we're gonna do the Final Fantasy XII wrap up, or with however far we got, whether we beat it, whatever. Our buddy James is gonna come on. Now I don't know if he'll be able to come on when we record at night like this, or if it'll be like I'll get with him earlier in the day, and if you're available, then you could hop in too. If not, then I'll just edit it into the end of the episode or something. Yeah. But he's going to come on, talk about Final Fantasy XII, and probably curse me for Persona 4 or Persona 5 Strikers coming out 4 days early on PC, because I bought the digital collector's edition, whatever, which the game comes out on the 24th.
We get access. Yeah.
We get access to it on the 20th.
Nice.
So 5 days from now, sir. Is when that comes out, which is another reason I'd like to wrap up Final Fantasy XII, because I'm hoping that our next game is something short, so I can also put some time into Persona 5 Strikers.
Persona 5 Strikers will be a Patreon-only episode. New games go there first.
That's not a terrible idea, but I don't know. I don't want to paywall stuff. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
No, we'll figure it out.
But I definitely look forward to diving into that.
Yeah.
I've been stoked for it since it was announced. But so if Taylor decides to
God damn it. It's fucking
do the $20 thing at some point.
Yeah.
It'll finally give me an excuse to play through Persona 5 Royal, which will be nice, because it was like I got that and was super gung-ho to play through it, and then we started this show, and I haven't touched the PlayStation really since.
Yeah.
So,
I use my PlayStation to stream stuff. I'm mostly playing on the PC now.
Yeah, dude. I tell you, I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV on my main screen, and up here on my side screen, I've had She Heals I Tank old episodes playing on Twitter, not Twitter, I mean Twitch, which is a Final Fantasy XIV podcast, and I love them to death. They're part of my free company. It's Pete and Avi. They're awesome. So actually, shout out to the whole Domina de Umbra. I think that's what the name of it is, Domina de Umbra. That whole free company. You guys rock. There's got to be something else that I'm missing that I wanted to talk. Oh my God!
I saw that they are porting 2 Nintendo 64 games to the PS4 and the PS5.
Yeah, Turok and Turok 2.
Fuck yeah!
Oh boy!
I used to play the shit out of Turok. Get out of here.
Those games did not age well, sir.
I fucking love the 64. Y'all these.
I know.
Y'all high tech, high performance PC gamers and shit. Y'all, the gaming community shits on the 64. I fucking love it. Like.
Listen. You say that. There are some PC games on our list that are older than the 64, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, there aren't many consoles though where you can sit down and do 4-player local multiplayer. Like,
there's also not many consoles that you can sit down and need 3 hands to hold the controller.
You need 2. You have to just learn how to hold it right.
You got to use the thumbstick with your dick.
Yep, that's what I did.
All right, so. I did want to save this till the end in case people didn't want to listen to it.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have it pulled up. I cannot find it. But the other day I'm laying in bed just scrolling through the internet looking at Final Fantasy XII stuff. And I happened upon this Final Fantasy XII fan fiction.
Of course you did, because it's the internet.
And it started out all right. It was talking about that Ash, Fran, and Penelo were in a party and they got separated from the group and they had fallen into this trap in this dungeon that they were in. And now, in order to get out, there was this pressure plate that they needed to use to get out, right? Mm-hmm. So they lay all their weapons down and they take all their gear off and lay it on it. They're all naked and they're trying to. It's not enough pressure, and then they stand on it and it's still not enough pressure. When they stand on it, it's enough pressure, but when they get off of it, they need to be able to leave there. Mm-hmm. Well, it was about this time that Fran starts saying that her stomach hurts. And they realize that they haven't taken a shit in like a week. Maybe 2 weeks. Longer than that, right? Yeah, you see where this is going?
God damn.
Yeah. So eventually they come upon the idea, oh, Fran, you should just take a shit on the pressure plate because it'll add the weight on there and it might help open the door. And apparently Fran's, the Vieira, take massive shits because she just starts... Apparently, according to the story, just letting out this huge pile of turd, and it just starts piling up, and she's having to move to make room to put more out.
Jesus
and
fucking Christ! God damn it! I hate the internet so much.
They think it's done, but then she gets another gurgle, and a fart comes out, and then here comes more, and this time it's more liquidy than it was the first time. And
no,
dude, no. Oh no! So she finally finishes, right? Eventually, this was like paragraphs about this. Then Penelo says that she realizes she hasn't gone in a while. So Penelo goes over there, starts taking a big dump on this thing too, right? Well, Ash is mortified because she's a fucking princess, right?
I bet.
And they're telling her, Ash, we need you. You haven't pooped in a while. Your stomach is bulging out. We need you to shit on this pressure plate. And she's like, it is not going to happen. So Penelo goes and grabs her, and they start wrestling around. And Penelo's trying to squeeze her stomach to make her shit, right? And Penelo's up underneath her doing something, and Ash pisses on her face to get her off of her. So then Penelo's like trying to wipe that off and everything, and there's a turd coming out of Ash's ass that she then reaches up under herself and pushes it back in because she's not going to shit in front of anybody. And then eventually she ends up shitting on the pressure plate, and they had to then reach into the piles of shit to get their weapons and gear and stuff. And it was the most ridiculous thing I read. But
God.
I couldn't stop reading. I had to. It was like seriously like 20 something paragraphs. I read every bit of it, and I was just disgusted, but yet I couldn't look away.
That's why I have a love-hate relationship with the internet. Some things like that is just like, this wouldn't exist without the internet. And then you get gems like, go onto Amazon and pull up the reviews for sugar-free Haribo gummy bears. They're fantastic. Like,
I'll have to do that. In fact, one thing that we're going to do for a Patreon episode coming up is examine funny Steam reviews, because there are some fucking golden ones out there. And that was Ryan's idea, and I was like, that's fucking good.
Reviews, comment sections, forums, and cats are the backbone of the internet. Like,
oh man. But yeah, that fan fiction story. If I can find it,
Post it in the Discord.
I'll post it in the Discord. Yeah, I don't know if I'd put that on Facebook, but I'll post it in the Discord. You can come find it.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, if you would like to join our Discord, you can hop over to facebook.com/The Steam Machine Podcast. That's our Facebook page, and the Discord link is posted at the top, along with our Threadless link. If you'd like to get some merch, there are 2 designs out there now. There's the design for our normal show and the design for our Patreon show. So, we would really appreciate that. It would help support the show. And speaking of Patreon, patreon.com/The Steam Machine Podcast. If you would like to come join, we're putting up exclusive content on there. We take suggestions from people in the Discord and on Patreon. So if you guys ever have any questions, comments, concerns, hit us up there. Message us on the page on Facebook. We are open to criticism and suggestions and things of the like. We're also on Twitter. It's Steam_podcast. Come check us out. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's always me, usually. I don't think Ryan touches the social media much unless you see it's him, like in his name in the group. Other than that, you're probably talking to me. So
Yeah, probably.
If you ever see the Steam Machine say I, it's probably me.
Yeah,
Because I'm bad about remembering that I'm on the show page and not my personal Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. We, oh, you know what? Let me check real quick. I think we're still sitting at...
7.
I think we're still sitting at 7 5-star reviews. But just to check to make sure... Yep. We are still sitting at 7 5-star reviews. Now, if we can get that to 10, I'm going to give away another game.
Nice.
From the list of extra games that I've got.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, I'm going to go ahead and say this. If we get it to 10, it's going to be, I'm going to randomly pick a game from this list. Except, if we get to 25 5-star reviews, I'll give away Just Cause 3. I've got a code for Just Cause 3. That's a fantastic game. It's one of my favorite games that I played in this last generation. So if we can get the 25 reviews, we will do a little running for Just Cause 3. But if we can get it to 10, who knows what you'll get, because I've got a bunch of different keys for a bunch of different games. Gotta love Fanatical and Humble Bundle.
Right.
But yeah, man, I think that about does it for everything that I had to say. I'm looking forward to seeing how this story wraps up.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully
Talking to James about it. Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so. Hit it hard. Cheat if you gotta. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Fucking use WeMod. Go in there, wipe shit out. Who gives a fuck? As long as you enjoy your time with it, that's what matters, sir.
Yeah.
And in fact, before we close, there's one other thought that I was thinking about. So we've got so many games, right? So many games.
Yeah, we're up well over 1,000 now.
Yeah, I think we're at like 1,101. So as older games phase out and won't work anymore, which is bound to happen eventually.
Yeah, like Gothic.
Yeah, well, I think there's a fix for Gothic.
Yeah.
And now that you're a little more computer savvy, we might be able to do that, but we'll worry about that another time. But even some of some Flash games, for example. Now that's just we don't have those in our list, but they're gone. So like there could be a possibility that some of these games eventually will not be playable at all. And I was thinking, well, that sucks, but that also helps with all the new games that are going to be coming out that we're going to add to the list.
Yeah.
Because, maybe we'll do the brand new games go to Patreon and then we'll release that later, or just do brand new games as a special, like 1 week. We'll just be like, all right, well, instead of our game of the week this week, we're doing such and such.
Yeah, I can see that happening at some point this year too, probably for Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, I could see it happening for Persona 5 Strikers if I really like it.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, Resident Evil Village, that's gonna be cool too. I just realized that the protagonist, is the same from 7.
Yeah,
We're playing the same character. So
yeah,
that's cool.
Village is like a direct sequel to Biohazard, and it's you're playing the same character as you did in Biohazard.
And I was also thinking that we make jokes that eventually we're gonna get some stinkers, but luckily, like this, I was thinking about it compared to like the Tadpog and how they do it, because. And shout out to Tadpog. Everybody should listen to Tadpog. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a great retro podcast. They pretty much are where we got the idea from, like I've said in other episodes before, for the randomizer. And they are doing the Super Nintendo list of games. Whereas we are pulling from games that I have bought. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a lesser chance that we're going to get a shitty game than there is
that's fair.
not. But with the bundles and stuff that I've gotten, believe me, there are plenty of games
Yeah.
that I'm just going to roll my eyes at when we pull them. We already have gotten a couple of them.
Rat Bridge. Corpse
Yeah.
Party Blood Drive.
Yeah, exactly. So, man, I'm not going to strive to beat every fucking game that we play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I just hope that over the next however many fucking years that we do this, that we just have a good time doing it.
45.
And that people enjoy listening to us do it. And just for some reason, people like to hear us bullshit about video games. So,
Apparently.
I don't know.
know.
We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we
and on
do.
that note, man, he's Ryan. I'm Dalton. And as always, guys, take it easy.